Hi guys, welcome back to my channel Lush Gardener. So somebody had asked me a question: how long can we leave the succulent in for bottom watering? Let's say, for example, I cannot water it right now because it's already wet, but I'm just going to give you an example. Let's say that this is your tub, you're filled some water and you have kept your succulent in it, the succulent pot in it, for it to get bottom water. The maximum time that you can leave in this, when you notice that the upper layer of soil is wet, it indicates that your soil is completely moist. It is time to take out the succulent. But what is the maximum time that you can keep your succulent pot in that tub of water? Is around 5 to 10 minutes. Do not prolong it. Do not keep it in for hours, or do not keep it overnight. Your succulent will get rotted. This has happened to me earlier. I had put my moonstone in for bottom watering and I completely forgot about it. The next morning when I checked, one of my moonstone was completely rotted. So you have to be extremely careful. The maximum time that you can leave your succulent in that pool of water is for around 5 to 10 minutes. 10 minutes being maximum. Trust me, within 10 minutes your soil will be completely moist, or would be completely wet on the upper surface. That indicates that you're done with your bottom watering. You do not need to let the succulent sit in that for hours. The moment you notice that the upper layer of soil is wet, it's darker in color, all you have to do is just take it out and keep it aside. When you're going to keep it aside, all the excess water that is there, that will start to drain out, because you're going to have a drain hole in the pot. That is why it is very important to have a drain hole in every pot of your succulent. A lot of people say it's absolutely okay, you can put your succulents in pots that do not have drain holes. Again, this completely depends upon you, because if you're going to have a pot without drain hole, yes, you can grow succulents, but it is going to be very challenging. If you are up for that challenge, then of course you can do that. But if you want to make your life easy, if you want to make this process of growing succulents easy, then have a drain hole in your pot. All of my pots do have drain holes. As you can see, these are some fresh pots that I have made, and you can see every pot of mine has a drain hole. I do not like to complicate things. However, as I said, you can still grow succulents in pots without drain hole, but it is going to be very difficult. It's going to be very challenging, especially when it comes to watering. So if you want to make things less complicated, then go with the drain hole. It is as simple as that. You can do your bottom watering, because if you don't have a drain hole in your succulent pot, of course you cannot do a bottom watering, because the water will not enter into the pot. And whenever you have excess water, you will, let's say that this pot did not have a drain hole, and if I'm going to water it, and let's say I watered it excess, now the water is pooling in because there is no drain hole, then what I have to do is I have to tilt the pot and take out all the excess water. So as you can see, it can be very tricky to grow succulents in pots without a drain hole. It all depends upon you. If you want to make things easy, have a drain hole. If you want to make things complicated, then you can put it in a pot that does not have a drain hole. It's up to you. I do not force people that no, you only have to grow them in drainless pot. It all depends upon you. It's your succulent, it's your hobby. It depends how you want to take care of it, because some people say that yes, if there is a drain hole, there is a lot of dirt everywhere. Because I know a lot of people tend to grow their succulents indoor, and having a drain hole, it spills all the water. But again, it all depends whichever you want to go with. If you're going with a pot without a drain hole, you have to be very careful when watering, because even a little bit excess water, your succulent will start to rot. So you have to be extremely careful. Now this is my Haworthia Pablo. It is a very rare succulent. When I had found the succulent with one of the seller, I was like, I have to get it. It turns completely red in color, but of course in my environment it won't turn very red, but it does get a lot of red tips, or the red edges, as you can see. I'll try to find a Google image and put it on the screen on your right hand side, so you'll see this is how the Pablo tends to look like when it is completely stressed due to the cold environment, because this is an Haworthia genus. So very soon it is going to go into its dormant period. So if you are from a place wherein the temperatures are very low, then it does get a lot of color with a good amount of direct morning sunlight. But in my place, the temperatures don't drop very low, probably 19 degrees, 18 degrees max. Apart from that, it doesn't go below that. So not a lot of color, but I'm happy with whatever it's coming up. So in those 3 to 4 years, you can see when I had got the succulent, I only had one on it, but now you can see there are two and there are multiple pups coming up. I'm very excited. Probably in future I will separate the pups, but right now I'm just going to leave it as it is because everything is very wet. The soil is completely moist. I do not want to do any kind of cutting. Apart from that, in my city it has started to rain. As per the forecast, until the 9th of November there are going to be rains, so I have to be extremely careful with any kind of cuttings or leaf propagations. Otherwise they will get rotted, because when it tends to rain there is so much of wind that the rainwater is everywhere, and I do not want it to end up on the succulents that I tend to cut. So I'm going to leave it as it is. As I said, it is a very rare succulent. I do not want to take a chance. I will let it be as it is, but I'm very excited about the growth. So you can see, guys, in 4 years time there hasn't been much of the growth. Just it has given me one head. Apart from that, it has not grown very huge, because this particular variety of Echeveria Pablo doesn't grow very huge. It only tends to grow into small clumps, and then it starts to get into a bunch. It tends to grow into a clump and not into a very large succulent. We also need to understand that not all succulents will grow a size of a football. Some of them are going to stay very small, but they tend to clump up and grow into a bunch. So this is one of that variety. I'm very excited. You can see how beautiful the pups tend to look like. When I had purchased this plant, I was like, I'm not very sure if this is going to grow very well. Probably it might die, because it's a very rare succulent and it is a very tiny little piece that I had got at that point of time. It was very expensive, but I managed to get one. But today I have two of them and another two pups on it, so I'm quite excited about it. Let's see how it tends to go. I will keep you guys updated. If I'm doing any cutting in near future, I will definitely keep you guys updated. This one is quite small, but the one on the other side is a little bit bigger, but it still does not have a very evident stem, so I'm a little bit scared to cut it off. But let's see what happens in future. So guys, that's all about it. I hope that you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button, and if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.